Walk around the compound, we'll see some tigers, maybe a squeak, a moo, a moo, a moo, ya know. Hi, baby. Hi, beautiful Tawny. How are you? How are you? Oh goodness, you missed one of your squeakies. That is for you. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. She's doing real good. She's doing real good. Real happy. Real happy. Yeah. Because she's got her stuffies, and she's got a mattress. And she's got a pillow, and this a very nice velvety blanket. And that feels very good on her old bones. And we had moved her in here when it was getting really hot, and also when we had to shave her back, get some of the, some of the fur clumps that she was not able to properly groom. And we just decided to kind of keep her in here. Yeah, we just kind of decided to keep her in here and just let her chill out. And every single day, she's got lots of people that come back here to prepare lemur food or prepare bindi food or to get medicine all together for all the cats and stuff like that. And then they're talking to Tawny, and they're talking to Raven and saying, "Hello, beautiful." And then she says, "Who, me?" And then they say, "Yeah, you. You're beautiful." Oh, big teeth. Big teeth. Big teeth. So yeah. Doing real good. Yeah, you're so vocal. You're such a vocal cutie pie. A vocal cutie pie. Raven is outside at the moment. Oh. 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 Hello, all you big cat lovers out there. It's me, Derek, again. Welcome to another, I guess, fantastic or whatever webcast, walk around the compound webcast. And yeah, we are here for another round of webcasting, another week of webcasting. Milo must be very, very sleepy. Some of you saw like some of the vines and the Instagram posts that I posted with Milo in a box. It was a cardboard box that I had spritzed some Obsession cologne onto. And the thing about Obsession cologne is that it actually, this is what I've read. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to probably do a little bit more homework, but I'm webcasting right now. It actually has some chemicals and compounds and alkaloids and stuff like that, sciencey things, that resemble big cat pheromones. I think specifically jaguar pheromones. So that is an element of Calvin Klein's Obsession cologne, which I had a bottle. I had a bottle inside my medicine cabinet. You know, I like to smell like a trendsetter from 1993. And yeah, Milo is very olfactory, and he lost his cookies, lost his brain noggin when gave him that box. So that was very, very, very satisfactory. Oh my gosh, we have more kitty cats that are playing with stuffies. Oh, keep it in your mouth, keep it in your mouth, keep it in your mouth. Zoobs! Zoobs! Hi, handsome. Still got the Indiegogo campaign going on that's going to be benefiting Zubiri over there and Raleigh over here. Boomer and Slade in the back. Seeing a lot of people weighing in on the debate. Hashtag Team Tigis versus hashtag Team BBs. I think it's safe to say that most people are on the right side of things, on the right side of history, which is Team BBs. Got those devilish little tigers, Tigis. Ugh. Ugh. Who would want to be on their team anyway? They have no respect, no sense of propriety. Those Tigis. But yeah, I got the Indiegogo campaign still going. Hi, Jake. Jake from, oh, hello. She says, and Alucia. Jake is not the only one inside of this enclosure. Alucia is also in this enclosure. She is also in this enclosure. No. Oh. Oh. Cuteness. Cuteness, you have abundance of that cuteness thing. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with the level of your cuteness. And gonna be bringing Hi, Sass. Gonna be bringing back some more peat paintings. I thought that we needed to rest those a little bit because they were selling out so wonderfully. They were doing so good, and then they did start to slow down a little bit. So I want to get people to catch up and check their budgets and all that fun stuff. So peat paintings are going to be making a return this week. There will be some more that make it to the Indiegogo campaign page. The page. The Indiegogo campaign page. Pea spot. That's a pea spot. It's a spot that the tigers will tend to just they'll pee in it a little bit with a little bit more regularity. And Luca is just being gross. He's just being gross now. And we have to go into the pee spots and we have to spray them down with a solution of bleach mixed with water to disinfect it, because we want to make sure that we're not letting all those oogly bacterias and whatnot. But there's still leftover pee remnant in the dirt. Oh, look at that. Look at, he's going to add some. He's and I'm going to make a contribution. It's he's going to make, I'm going to make a deposit. I don't know, they'll pick these spots. They just pick them. I don't know what it is about this spot that's just so wonderful and alluring, but I just feel compelled to have to urinate in it. Don't ask me any reasons for this behavior. I'm a tiger. Luca, care to comment? Tight-lipped as usual. Why won't you show me your ways? Oh, what would a walk around the compound be without talking about the weather? And it has been fairly nice, but should be a lot nicer. Meaning it should be like we should only be like seeing high temperatures in the low 80s and the upper 70s during this time of year. But no, still seeing high temperatures in the 90s. It's the end of September. It's almost October. This is ridiculous. Come on. Come on. El Nino. The Nino. Hey, Selena. But then again, it could be those climate changes of climate. Minor fluctuations in weather patterns. I mean, it's a lot more complex than that, but I will say, as far as those things, that there are some compelling arguments to support that hypothesis, regardless of, you know, how people want to try to politicize that topic. Looking just at the sheer science and the sheer facts. And I alluded to these things about in a few webcasts ago, and we were talking about I think it was the webcast I titled Carbon Cat Ramblecast, where I talked about that Wait But Why article. And it was talking about how some of the biggest changes in the Earth's temperature have been like some of the biggest extinction events or the biggest fluctuations in the Earth's temperature have been directly correlated with fluctuations of CO2 in the atmosphere. And it's almost like we have that kind of thing with ice core samples and our geologic record and stuff like that. So with that knowledge, it's like, well, why do you want to kind of, you know, why do you want to take the chance that there is an influencing factor? Why do you want to even take that chance? That's the way that I look at a lot of that stuff. Show me the evidence. There's a lot of evidence. A lot of people just say, show me the evidence. I didn't come from monkeys. We never said you did. Never said you did. But I do feel, you know, as far as things being considerably older and than what some would have you believe, that's where I kind of stand. And considerably crazier too. Things are always considerably crazier than what is written in sacred texts. Crazier pantser. I shall read you a chapter from the book of Crazy Pants. Yeah. Oh, give it a rest. She says, "No, well, you don't tell me what to do." She says, "You don't tell me what to do." Yeah, no, but there's interesting things, and this is I wasn't meaning to talk about energy, and I wasn't meaning to talk about, you know, things like the Carl Sagan type numbers, billions and billions. Wasn't meaning to do that, but sometimes the conversation just naturally flows that way. What are you gonna do? But as far as some of that stuff is concerned, I figure it's like if there's a good enough potential that there could be things that get affected by messing with the CO2 levels of the atmosphere, and historic events that have been geologically cataloged have been associated, known events of temperature fluctuations have been associated with fluctuations in CO2, then it's, you know, there seems like there should be better ways of kind of thinking about things or looking at things. Hey, I knew I was gonna move back, and then you were gonna come up. But then also, like, I read about things, you know, because like what we've got right now, like solar power and wind power is massively inefficient. Massively. It's still not there yet to like provide society level power. So we really gotta, you know, some people are saying that like we have to like look at safer alternatives for fusion and fission and nuclear stuff that I know nothing about. Oh boy. But if you want to actually get away from the carbon stuff and the fossil fuel stuff and get into sustainable energy, energy independence, you have to think bigger than just solar panels. That's actually some of that eco-modernism type stuff. And it's a guy that I follow on Twitter. I can't remember his name. Michael Stegen Shellen something. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I forget your name, sir. But I did. I will get to you, sir. But he's always getting into dust-ups on Twitter, which I kind of admire. Because he's a really, really smart guy. But he's like always like arguing people on Twitter. Just like, but like arguing smartly. Like giving like specific, very cute. And when I say arguing, I'm not meaning like that guy's go get him. I'm not saying he's being a dick. I'm just saying that he is making a lot of interesting points and also providing a lot of sources to back up a lot of these different kind of things. And he was tweeting some stuff about how, we'll give like some poor village a couple of solar panels so that they can charge a smartphone, and we're just like, there you go. Oh, you're so adorable. But we'll give them like these really inefficient solar panels. Hold on. He's like, shut up, don't talk about that stuff. But we'll give them these we'll give them these things, and then we'll say, all right, there you go, there's your energy, you're in the 21st century now. And then they'll look at bless you, they'll look at our massive infrastructure, they'll look at our power grid, they'll look at like all of like the really big and amazing things that we're able to accomplish because we have abundant energy. Hi, bad guy. Hi, big guy. Okay, I leave you alone. They look at that stuff and they're like, well, why don't we get to have that? Why it is only the Westerners get to have the abundance of energy? The abundance of energy. Why do you only get to have it? Well, because it's a lot of dirty technology, fossil fuels. It's coal, it's gas. It kind of pollutes things, and people are we're kind of working away from that. And well, we want to feel good about ourselves, and we want to let you poor people have these solar panels. So here you go. You can charge up your smartphones, and welcome to the 21st century. But we do not have abundant energy to be able to engage truthfully in commerce, to build our infrastructure. We are still in many ways a poor third world nation. Sounds like a little bit of bickering to me. So yeah, those are some of the questions. Those are some of the things that I was reading about, and it was interesting. It was interesting insight that like more is needed. That more is to really get people into to get people really truly on the grid. More is needed, and the types of energy that we're talking about are the things that can only be accomplished by, burning a lot of this really, really dirty and limited supply of materials. Stuff that destabilizes the planet. Stuff that destabilizes the political spectrum of the planet, gets people really desperate, gets people wanting to, fight and kill, and gets people's priorities all whacked out. And of course, they're not going to care so much about these kind of guys, lions and tiger type guys. They're not going to care about that stuff. They got to worry about, not getting their hands chopped off. They got to worry about roving death squads not coming through and massacring, entire villages. They don't worry about rampant starvation, or they don't got to worry about crops completely failing. I mean, those are the types of things that happen in the third world. In the third world, places where animals like these come from, like where animals like tigers come from, where animals like lions come from. And then too many times, you got people in the West who just have this massively, comparatively opulent level of existence, pointing a finger and saying, like, you're not taking care of your animals. You're not taking care of your animals as much as you should be. I am sorry. But last year alone, there were many lion attacks that came into my village. Regularly. They kill our livestock. And they threaten our children and our grandmothers and grandfathers. Forgive us if we do not welcome them into our backyards with open arms. There was a kid. I saw a TED Talk. It was pretty cool. One of those TED Talks, technology and engineering and design talks. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Oh my god. Oh, it's so bright. It's so bright. It's African kid. Really smart kid. He, industrious. He would, like, take apart his mother's radio and, like, try to put it back together. And, of course, she would get really upset. But they lived in a rural farming community, a rural cattle, oh my gosh, a cattle herding community out in sub-Saharan Africa, and in an area where there were lions and there were leopards and hyenas and stuff like that. Real threats to these individuals, these poor people out there, to their livelihoods, to their families, and grass around the compound. And they had problems, you know, with lions coming into the village and carting off their livestock. And oftentimes you're going to be talking about things like retaliatory killings that take place within those poor rural areas, because or you know, like, people are getting killed and lions are getting killed, and it's just this blood feud that kind of develops between people and between animals, both just trying to survive. And this kid, he developed this thing where it was like, I can't remember, I can't describe it exactly, but it was like an electrical grid system that was on a perimeter fence on the property of his family. And there was a system of lights that were set up on the fence line, and he had worked this circuitry system to where lights would shine on at different points around the fence. And what that did was it simulated like a person, like walking around checking on their animals with a flashlight. They had tried doing things like, scarecrows and stuff like that, dummies, noise systems to try to keep animals away, and it didn't keep any of them away. But when he developed that light system, that did run off of like very little energy, and was able to be a non-lethal way that really drove human-animal conflicts down just tremendously. It spread like wildfire, like all over his village. Like, people wanted him to set up similar systems on their homesteads, and it was an amazing solution to this problem, where the people were able to tend to their livestock. They were able to tend to their livelihoods. They weren't going to be put into economic ruin because they were going to lose their livestock. And then the indigenous wildlife wasn't getting unnecessarily targeted and retaliatorily killed. Yeah. You know what I mean. Shakespeare made up words too. People are like, it's not a word, Derek. I'm like, yes, but you understood what I meant. Ipso facto, I'm smart because words and meaning and context, I can make some. Old girl, how'd you get up there, Grandma? How did you get up there, Grandmama? Why? You just whine? You gonna whine up there all day? You just gonna whine? Yeah, she's an old girl. Old girl. No. And yeah, she's lost a lot of mass. I mean, just when you get old, I mean, you just tend to do that. You lose a lot of muscle mass and stuff like that. She still gets around. Still gets around. Oh, where did this? I was going all over the place. I actually, there was a couple other things that I did want to talk about that I didn't even touch upon, didn't even get to. Talking about some of my childhood aspirations and like the things that I wanted to do as a young boy. As a young boy. What? Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Pete's. Look at him's Pete's. Look at him's a Pete's. Look at Mr. Slade's Pete's. Beam! Beam, 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 beam. Slade. The cuteness. Well, you still have a couple minutes left. You can just talk about it. All right. I remember for a long time when I was a wee lad, I used to watch a lot of cartoons. I used to read a lot of comic strips. And like that was like the thing. I wanted to like do a lot of that. You know, be a part of that kind of thing. For a long time, when I was a little kid, what I wanted to do more than anything else in the whole world was actually go to become a voice actor in cartoons. Like that was like that. I can do that. Like that will be the thing that I do. And that's one of the reasons why I would start talking to myself. I would try to emulate voices. I would try to do different accents, or I would try to see how I could manipulate my voice while I was by myself. Just an odd boy, just rambling, and 9-10-year-old. Yeah, I was going to talk about that, and it was going to lead into segue into other stuff and topics, but it doesn't really matter because I think I, pretty much filled up a webcast with some pretty, interesting and engaging topics. Oh, I heard some other really messed up stuff, and this is actually, I didn't know about this until I saw it on Shizzy's Wildcat Rescue on Instagram. Him and I, we message each other from time to time. He's an inspiring fella. He's trying to actually raise money to buy land for, his own nonprofit exotic animal rescue facility, which I think, and he's like actually doing it. Like, you know how many messages, how many emails I get, like, how do I do the things that you do? And I want to start my own thing and my own sanctuary. It's like the amount of work that you actually have to put into it, the laws that you have to know, and the money things and the donor stuff and the land requirements and the USDA requirements. There's so many different things and paperwork and red tape. It's nuts. He's actually doing it. He's actually going through it right now, it's admirable. It's like, wow, this is actually happening. Something pretty crazy. And he's motivated, which I thought is just pretty cool. I think is Shazir Hadik. Sorry if I'm butchering your last name, Shizzy. But he told me something that was pretty effed up about some of the stuff that they're doing, like some of the rhino horn poachers, which rhinos are just, they're just getting just blasted away left and right. It's ridiculous. They're getting just blasted away at just awful, awful rates. More so than probably a lot of other like big iconic animals. They're really getting it hard. Their numbers are dropping very, very quickly. And one of the main reasons that it's happening is because their horn is thought of as an aphrodisiac, mainly in China and like Vietnam and some other East and Southeast Asian countries and societies. And it's not. Here's the thing that you got to realize, especially with like the China thing. They've got a growing middle class. Their population is growing, and their economy is growing, and I think that that's a great thing. It's a really, really good thing. But with that, some of the old mystic philosophy is still being adhered to and held on to. And then when you mix like a population that is growing with a very small subset of the Chinese population who truly does believe that rhino horn can make you get, you know, like sexual vibrancy. All it takes is a small percentage of a large population that believes that to make very severe and dire effects on the populations of some of these animals. And this is just based on just a simple consumer supply and demand kind of thing. They've got more cash to burn. And again, like I'm telling you, there's a lot of people within the population as a whole who they think that the practice is silly. They want to embrace modern medicine. They just think they realize that it's not. And I thought, like, when I first started researching a lot of this stuff, I thought, like, oh, well, it just must be rampant and all over the place. And really, it's not. It's really a small subset of the population. But there's such a populous peoples that all it takes is a little bit. All it takes is a small percentage to believe it to be true, to have a negative impact. So I read something messed up that what some of these, again, going back around to Shizzy's Wildcat Rescue on Instagram, I read it on his page about how some of these, and I'm just going off of it. Here's the thing: I haven't actually verified like any news stories because I trust him. I trust Shizzy. I trust what he says. So I'm just gonna say that I'm just gonna default to the idea that I'm just gonna say like I'm hopefully you did your homework, because I'm putting myself out there, man. Some of these black market dealers of ground up rhino horn, what they're doing, they'll mix ground up Viagra into the ground up rhino horn powder. So when they sell it to people, they take it, and then the desired effect is achieved. And then they say, oh my gosh, it works. I knew it would work. $20,000 well spent. Yeah. Isn't that messed up? So they're using modern medicine to perpetuate the myth of these traditional holistic medicines, which there's no basis for. Hi, Tess. Hi, baby. Hey, sugar pie. Oh, I tell you, the world is a strange place. But, you know, knowing about it, learning about it, that's a big step to, you know, I don't know, trying to move in the right direction, I think. I still have hope and optimism about a lot of things. That we're not done yet. That we can achieve a greater level of symbiosis with the planet around us. That we can become a little bit more interwoven into the fabric of the natural order of things. Even though whenever anyone says it's like it's human-made, it's not natural. If it's on the planet, if it exists anywhere in the universe, if it exists at all, it's natural. It's not natural. Everything that exists within the plane of existence is natural. Stop trying to separate yourself from everything. Yeah, going a little deep there. That's like a subtle mental, I'm gonna put myself in this category. It's all connected. All made of star stuff. Billions and billions. All right. I think that's about enough webcasting for now. I will talk to you folks later. Bye-bye.